All right, everybody, I'm going to try and blow through this because this is sort of a lot of thoughts. I'm trying to just get them out real quick to talk to you about it. So, this is a gun I've been working on for a while now. I've been testing and evaluating it, and I am, just to cut a long story short, very pleased with this so far. And I have chosen to move forward and use this for a duty gun, specifically for use with night vision. So that's what I'm building this out to. There's been this argument that if you're going to be running any kind of modern rifle, it should be an AR. I don't agree with that. I think AKs are every bit as useful as ARs. You can modernize them and make them tactical and all that. It's going to be a little bit more work, obviously, but AKs and ARs, they're brothers. They're, I don't think you need to pick one or the other because it's easier or less easy. Find one you really love and go with it. I love AKs. I've had nothing but good luck with AKs, so I stick with AKs, and it's been rewarding. They're fun to shoot. I think AKs are more fun to shoot than ARs, unless you get into some kind of funky caliber thing or like you have some kind of recoil system. AKs are just in general more fun to use. They have more personality generally. They're simple, super reliable. But like I said, no hate to ARs. I'm just showing an example of a more modernized, usable, like duty use AK, specifically because I'm setting this up to use with night vision. So with that out of the way, I don't want any hate from anybody. I'm not trying to dog on ARs or AKs or anything like that. I specifically chose this gun because my in real life battle buddy guys either have SIGs in 5.56, like SIG rifles, either AR style or SIG 550 style in 5.56. They have ARs in 5.56. They tend to around here run 5.56, so I've chosen a gun that runs 5.56, which is this M90 Zastava. They came out with a model a long time ago that had an adapter to accept STANAG mags. Nobody really liked that, so they brought it back, but they used their M85 style, M21 style AK mags. I am missing a few parts off this, so right off the bat, the bolt carrier and the gas regulator are missing, and I'll explain why later, and as well as all my mags. So just to get that out of the way, this is the polymer mag that it came with. I won this in a raffle, so that's cool. But I want to explain why I kind of am moving forward with using this for night vision. I've been testing and evaluating it, and I've just decided to go with it because it's been done everything I've asked of it and more. So there's just a few quirks and a few things to kind of get in line, and other than that, it's excellent, top notch. So so between the Baril from FB Radom and the Yugo Serbo M90, I wanted to get one of these more because the FB Radom seems to have a few more issues with parts compatibility and getting modernized parts. So like, I don't think you could fit unless you modified an SLR Rifleworks handguard, unless they are making one now. A really long one for use to put flashlight and laser out in the front. Because the Baril has two sling loop retainers on either side of the handguard retainer, so they stick out on both sides, whereas this just sticks out on one side. So what you end up with are parts and customization issues that you don't have with the M90. The Yugo pattern rifles have had a lot of love and aftermarket support, whereas the parts for the Baril really just have FB Radom parts, which are cool. Again, there's nothing wrong about that, but I'm saying this for anybody who's looking at one of these. These are much easier to customize and kind of use for tactical use than the FB Radom Baril. FB Radom Baril, I've shot them. My buddy has one. Really good rifles, excellent quality, top of line AK, perfect, good. But for what I'm doing, I am glad I'm using an M90 because it's just easier to find parts for this kind of project. So, and I'd really hate to paint on a Baril. They're so kind of uncommon and cool. I would hate to do a camo job on one, but anyways, so this is, like I said, M90 Zastava, chambered in 5.56 NATO. Again, my buddies all use 5.56, so in my Smersh, I have a couple spare AR mags so they can grab one out, from behind me if they need. I went with this rifle, and I'm going with this rifle, continuing, because it has a couple of features that I really like. I like the reinforced receiver. It has a RPK style 1.5 millimeter thick stamped receiver with the bulged reinforced barrel trunnion. That's really cool for me. I like that. I dig it. If it's just a standard feature on the gun, cool. Even if it wasn't, I'd still probably go with this over the Baril because of the compatibility issues with aftermarket parts. It has a 18.5 inch hammer forged chrome plated barrel, just like the Baril. But again, this has some features like the fact that you can detent the front sight. The Baril, you kind of have to pick a muzzle device and just go with it, and you got to tighten it on and get it to set like an AR. Whereas this has the standard AK front sight that you can thread, and you can change out your muzzle devices very quickly compared to like an AR or the Baril. So that's another reason why I kind of went with this. Ease of use for different devices. You can suppress this. The threads are concentric with the barrel, and it does have gas settings to use a suppressor with. So that's another reason why, because potentially I might get a suppressor for this gun. But for now, I'm just kind of showing where I'm at. I went the other, again, with the parts compatibility. Zastava makes an AR buffer tube adapter that's quite excellent. I'll kind of go through it here. This is it. It is basically a block that fits in the back. It screws in with one bolt like the regular buttstocks, and it has a set screw that comes up from the bottom that kind of digs into your AR receiver extension tube. That there's always that kind of slot in there that goes up in that slot and sets it in there. And I've Loctited this all down. I've really torqued on this bad boy, and it does not move. I shot a whole lot with this setup, and it's very solid. So if you're looking at one of these, just make sure you use Loctite, because if you don't, it will move. But when it's secured properly and when it's torqued down really tight, it's as solid as can be. It's about as solid as a fixed stock normal Yugo. So I have a Yugo pistol grip. The Yugo pistol grips are probably my second favorite type of AK pistol grip. They're really comfy, and because they work with this type of rifle, I really like it. Again, I am missing some parts here, so I'll explain in a minute. For the scope mount, I'm trying out this Yugo specific one from Zastava USA. This is a UTG production, I think. Seems to be holding up, guys. I've really kind of put it through its paces, kind of yanked on it, really tried to mess around with it. Not had any zero loss, not had any issues, with that. Doesn't wiggle. Seems to be good to go for now. If I do have any issues, I will make a video about it specifically to tell everybody don't buy these mounts. They suck. But running and gunning and dropping this thing and doing all kinds of crap that you really shouldn't do, it's holding up. So, I was kind of skeptical, but it's holding up, guys. I've got, for night vision passive aiming, I have a EOTech EXPS 3-0. This has, again, a number of different kind of settings. This is a holographic sight, and it allows for really excellent quick aiming. And I'm telling you, like, this is I've shot with them before, but on this rifle especially, it's extremely comfortable. I originally had, the reason why this is black is because I had a BCM gunfighter stock on this originally. I went with a Magpul MOE because of these slots here allow for a cheek riser. And so I've got one coming from Amazon. It was $10. Simple fix. It just puts a cheek riser up here, and that way when I'm doing passive aiming, I'm not like putting my entire chin up on there just to look through there. I know with night vision, you're not even going to have to worry about it if you have a laser. But for passive aiming use, I still want to be able to, and for daytime, I still want to have a cheek riser to make it more comfy. That's just what it is. I have all my mags, my bolt carrier, and my gas regulator block at my friend's gun shop, Liberty Bell Firearms. He's Cerakoting all of my mags, the steel M85 mags. These are the polymer M21 style. The steel M85 are excellent mags. They're like big, fat gorilla style steel Galil mags. These are different. These are waffle pattern M21s. The M85s are what I use for this gun. They're steel. I'm getting them Cerakoted kind of this color. Same for the bolt carrier, not the bolt, just the bolt carrier, and the gas regulator, which is missing out of this. The reason being is because this gun farts gas right out the front. It's got several locations where gas just shoots out. At night, it doesn't obscure a lot, but it does make this whole area gassed out. So I got that, I'm getting that Cerakoted, and the piston and the bolt carrier, because they just come in like a nickel chromoly forging. They're not finished, they're not treated, and right away they get very dirty. So if you have a Yugo, you know that that just gets really dirty. So I wanted a Cerakote that kind of was this same color as my shirt, and so that's where those are at. All my mags and the bolt carrier and the gas regulator are there. So if you're wondering where the heck everything went, I've got a enhanced safety selector. This is a must for any kind of serious use AK, a selector that you can just flip down and use. That's what you need. Got a Kyber Custom slotted gas tube cover. This is a steel stamping. I kept this leaf spring from the handguard and just kind of clipped the slotted gas tube cover onto it, so you can kind of see it right there. It's got that clip inside of it. So this is a pretty good, solid, doesn't rattle option. And when you mag dump, when everything else gets hot, that stays cool. It actually works. So went with the SLR Rifle Works 15.5 inch Yugo M77 or M90 profile handguard. Works great, keeps my hand cool, but because of the cutout here for the sling loop, your gas block is right here, and the gas block is the hottest part of your barrel assembly when you start shooting. And the sling retainer is right behind that gas block, and it gets gas farted all over it, and it's hot. And when you're shooting without a hand stop, you'll put your thumb right on it and go, ah! So I've added a simple, $10 angled foregrip that helps me keep my hand in the same position and away from that sling loop. And it will also help me for when I set up a pigtail. This light's missing the pigtail. I don't know where it went. I don't even know if it had it. This is my buddy's flashlight, so I'm just testing it out. I have a smaller, there's this one, which is the TLR H1, and then there's a TLR MR one, whatever one. It's a little version of this that I was running on it. I wanted to see how much difference there was in the lights here. So this is going to get flipped on and off, but it needs a pigtail. I don't know if he ever had one or what, but I'm going to get it one for him so he can mount to his gun. But the reason why I went with this long handguard is because I'm going to have an IR illuminator and laser at some point, and I need to mount it as far forward as possible so that way gas doesn't get all over it from my gun shooting, and it's up far away from the heat. So that's why I went with this 15.5 inch handguard. It's been excellent. This is an excellent handguard, guys. To book style flash hider. Does an excellent job even in low light. It really cuts that flash out. It just makes this gun a musket. It's a really long front end. Not heavy, not like unwieldy. Actually helps with recoil quite a bit. It's easy to use. I have videos of me running around with this gun. I love this gun. I've added some different Picatinny options here. This actually came from the scope mount. I just wanted to see if an angled flashlight would work. I'm kind of working on it, but I have a piece of Picatinny rail just attached here for this flashlight. But I am going to get a pigtail and run a pressure pad right here where my fingers are, and I'll run the IR laser with my thumb, so, or vice versa. So yeah, that's one or the other will be on either side of this. So I'm not really going to add too much more to this. I don't really feel like adding a whole lot of weight. It's really not a heavy gun. Even with a loaded mag, it's really kind of handy and nice for how big it is. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at with this. Again, to book style flash hider, flashlight up in the front. There will be an IR laser. I think EOTech is producing a new one. I'll probably end up getting one of those and testing it out and see how it is. And running pigtail with pressure switches back here where my hand sits. angle foregrip, because if you have this rail with this gun or any gun that has the sling loop retainer there, you're going to touch that and regret it. So I just have a hand stop there. That's literally all it is for. And my hands are big enough to like wrap basically almost all the way around this, you know, so even with that on there. SLR rifle work handguard, excellent. Slotted gas tube just to match the M-lock for whatever reason, and it helps cool it down quite a bit. It's actually pretty light. EOTech, enhanced safety selector. Again, got my bolt carrier, my gas regulator, and all my mags, my steel mags. Those are getting Cerakoted by my buddy. Safety selector, Yugo grip, and this will have that $10 cheek riser. It just clips on, super solid. A lot of people really love them. Adjustable length of pull. That'll be the gun. Once I get the IR, it'll be completely finished. That way I can use the EOTech for passive aiming and the laser for whatever, direct aiming or whatever the heck the other term is. You got passive and the other one I can't remember. I'm still a little new to night vision. So I will be getting a PVS 14 for this helmet and some communication headsets. Right now I just have earmuffs because I don't really have a reason to have communication headset with me just kind of being out. I shoot with buddies every once in a while and just shoot by myself. So these are A-okay. These are just for Peltors. This is some kind of ballistic helmet that I got from a pawn shop. This belonged to some SWAT guy and he sold it or pawned it, and I didn't really get it because of ballistic, but it's kind of nice that it has some sort of ballistic rating. Let me see what company this is. Model, it's a CPG 2001B. So, you know, I saw somebody fire a 44 Magnum on it and deformed it like crazy. Again, I just got it because it's got some ballistic capability. That 44 Magnum did not penetrate, but it dented the shit out of it. Mostly got it because I needed night vision mount. No big deal. So that's sort of the setup. There was another guy who was running these helmets in like all kinds of different conflict zones. He's an American guy. Don't remember the channel. Don't really care to figure out where it is, but you can find it. He did a review where he's like a medic, and he was like, yeah, I've been wearing this and been on all kinds of combat. No issues. It's extremely comfy. So, you know, till something else comes along, I'll just run with this. I'm not really expecting to be in trouble. So it's been super comfy, even with this strap around my chin. I usually tuck it under my chin. I know you're not supposed to, but it's just more comfortable. So yeah, that's this sort of setup so far. Again, I'm using this as an example for modernizing the AK. It's super easy. It's every bit as reliable and, you know, doable as an AR. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be doing more updates and talking to you about this gun more often because I really like it. I was not expecting to love this gun as much as I do, but if you get an M90 from Zastava, you'll really love it. I'm choosing to kind of paint mine up and get it ready for go time. So that's how much I actually think of it, because I have Russians, I have Bulgarians, I have very high-end AKs, and this is the one I'm choosing to run in like serious use. So it's easy to get spare parts for it. It's easy to get aftermarket parts for it. They keep importing a whole bunch of them. They're high quality. They have good ballistic capability, rugged, just, you know, ticks all the boxes objectively for me that I need to say, hey, this is, you know, what I'm going to use for an issue gun. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed this video on this AK. Let me fumble this mag, reload here. There you go. That's this small caliber Zastava gun. I would go with 5.45. I do have 5.45, but all my buddies use 5.56, so got to use 5.56 to make sure our ammo is compatible with each other. So yeah, hope you guys have a good day. Bye bye.